The lyrics from that song, as I listened to it, that stuck out for me were, I will rescue you. There's never been a moment you were forgotten. I will send out an army to find you. There is no distance. I'll be your shelter. I will be your armor. Because there's always this cadre of non-physical energy here in each and every moment, even though sometimes it may not seem like that. And it shows up as a smile, or a community, or a friend, or a hug. And we have these moments to take a deep breath and remember the good times and the good things, and trust and surrender and love. My grandfather made his transition last year in October, and I went to Canada for the services, and I set an intention before I went up there to be there to celebrate his life, and also to be there to support my family and my grandmother. And I let it go, booked the trip, and went out there. And throughout the process, I was researching a hotel room on one of the myriad of sites that came up. I forget, I think it might have been Expedia or something. And I saw the hotel room, it was a good price, and I was there for a little over a week. And I booked it, and I saw Guelph. And in my mind, I'm thinking Guelph Line, which is a road in Canada, about 20-minute drive away from my grandmother's house, where everyone was gonna be and the services were gonna be held. Lo and behold, when I went up there, it wasn't 20 minutes away from where her house was and the services and the family. It was an hour away. It was in the town of Guelph, which is perfectly fine because I trust and allow and understand that that happened the way that it was supposed to in divine timing. So of course I got heckled by my family members. What the heck would you do that for? What the heck would you do this for? And it was perfect for me because I had my time to come, be with the family, and then go and have my own time to connect and commune with my reflective moments with my grandfather. On my way into town one day, I missed the exit. And I took the next exit and I looked up and I was in shock. Right in front of me, there was this light blue semi-truck. My grandfather owned a trucking company. His favorite color was light blue. And the license plate was the synchronicity of the numbers in order 4, 5, and in between the letter L. And his name was Les. And I had goosebumps, knowing that he was there with me in that moment. And what is the point of that story? The point of the story is, and reminds us, because we are in a 3-part series, and this is the 3rd part series of New York Times bestselling author Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, How to Lose Your Mind and Create a New One. And my favorite part about living and creating in Dr. Joe's work and what he talks about is that quantum outcomes should come as a surprise. To change our reality, the outcomes that we attract to ourselves have to surprise, even astonish us in a way they come about. This is the unity principle number 3, that our thoughts create our life experiences. And Dr. Joe reminds us that the thought sends the signal out, and the feeling and the emotion, your elevated state of mind and being with your heart coherence and your brain coherence, brings it back to us. They have to wake us up from the dream of the routine that we become accustomed to. These manifestations should leave us with no doubt that our consciousness made contact with the quantum field of intelligence, so we're inspired to do it again. That was a synchronicity, that was a sign, that was a symbol showing me that he was there with me in that moment. I followed my gut instinct. I followed what to do through the reservation, even however the family showed up. And it was so beautiful in that moment to realize I don't have to look for him where he was. I can now look for him in a different place, and he is always with me. And that love and the gifts and the good times and the memories are always here and are just a thought away. That's the joy of the creative process. Change your internal environment and see how the external environment is altered by your efforts. Strive to create from the unknown a new future experience. Today's daily word is no coincidence, meaning happening by happenstance. It was a coincidence as in a cooperative incident, a synchronicity, a divine order. Divine order. And we're reminded by this work is it's not our job to figure out how to do it. It's our job to put the thought out there, get into an elevated state of mind and being, and surrender and let go and trust God. Trust the quantum field. Trust infinite intelligence to orchestrate it in a way that surprises and delights you. So when we hold that clear intention and we leave it up to God, we let it orchestrate that event in our life, in my life, in your life, which is uniquely perfect for each and every one of you. We have a unique electromagnetic signature that we're broadcasting out into the field, and we're more no thing than something. As we remember from the first week, we're 99.99999% wave or energy, which is the same energy as the stars, as nature, as the clouds, and we're 0.0001% matter. So it's really about shifting your perspective instead of trying to change matter from matter, and allowing the energy, God, source, to create and deliberately align yourself in the image and likeness of that as the vessel and vehicle. So if you're gonna expect anything, expect the unexpected. Surrender, trust, and let go of how a desired event will unfold. Gratitude and appreciation are another very powerful key ingredient for this. Yes, we can have our lives and be busy and running around and doing this and that, but when do you actually sit down and deliberately look at your life and hold appreciation for you and yourself and what you have? And can you give appreciation for things before they come into your life? So part one of the series was the science of you. We talked about that, the quantum you and overcoming your body, environment, and time. And then the part two was your brain and the meditation. We talked about the three different parts of the brain, moving from thinking to doing to being. And then the brain waves and the brainwave states. And then demystifying the meditation process. And this is part three today and this week with our book study, which I invite you to attend online on Zoom. We have a sign-up sheet, as Jerome mentioned before, in the back, or you can go online. Part three of the book is the actual work. It's your work. Dr. Joe has a meditation series. You can get the MP3s. There's CDs available you can order. But there is a refined outline and program with guided meditations that he has to follow. And I've been implementing these meditations in my life for over 3 years with powerful and amazing results. I've shared with you last week about the manifestation of the new home and surrendering and trusting. And then I surrendered and trusted my relationship that I'm in, and that flowed, and I moved forward through my old mind and stepped into the unknown and allowed. And it's been more amazing and perfect than I could have ever imagined. So these things work, 100% work. And when you step into the new mind and you demystify the process and you actually have new ways of doing it where there's evidence and testimonials and it's being proven scientifically, why would you not want to utilize this in your life? Dr. Joe talks about we are who we practice to be. So if you can think about, which us human beings have a gift, metacognition, we're aware of what we're thinking about. That's a beautiful gift. So if there's something that we don't want in our lives, the first step, which is a powerful tool, is to be aware about what you've been thinking about. What don't you want? Being neutral, being aware, loving yourself. I'm good. No attachment. So The meditation process is where you get out of the bleachers and you get in the game. This is where you have the opportunity to sit and create and allow. It's very powerful. You have the opportunity to become pure consciousness, to connect to the quantum field, to connect to that purity, that love of God that's here right now, aware of us, aware of each and every thought that we have and our desires, and move into alignment with that and trust and allow. It's where you collapse space and time and then you draw the event back to you instead of trying to assert or force or create from matter, trying to change matter. It's so much fun to create this way. It's so much fun to watch and see and sit back and see the gifts. I've heard before that there's 200 to 300 gifts, signs, symbols, synchronicities that are here for each and every one of us every day that are being revealed to us. The question is, are we realizing that? What are we focusing on? So once you understand the formula of how to do it, and you can sit down and implement that, you can create this brain and heart coherence and attract the things back to you. You can do anything. You can create anything that's special and unique for whatever it is for you, and it's different for each and every one of us. There's evidence and testimonials where people have shown not only have they healed their bodies from this work, but they've had magical experiences in their lives. And I'm going to read to you some of them because it's in the proof. The proof is in the pudding. It's in everyday people like you and me who are able to do these things and trust and allow and then watch the magic work in their lives. And it's powerful. These are the side effects that have been measured and transformation in people's testimonies and in their lives. The first is Dr. Joe's testimonial about how when he was in a triathlon and he was hit by the car and he was knocked 30 feet and broke his back. And through the processes that he teaches, he healed himself, even though the doctor said he should have rods in his back. And through the awareness, the mental rehearsal, and the application and surrendering and trusting, he was walking again in a couple of months and didn't have those surgeries. It's not to say that that stuff's not bad. It's to say that you are powerful. You can do the unimaginable. You begin to have a change in biology, neurologically, chemically, hormonally, and genetically. You have more brain and heart coherence. Different chemicals in your body are released when you get into that elevated state of being. Oxytocin suppresses survival centers, resets the baseline of people, and it resets the baseline of their traumas that they've had or shocks that they've had. Your immune system goes up, it can get stronger. You lengthen your telomeres. You change the future of your body. You're extending your life. I don't want to hear that you're too old to do this stuff because there's people that are doing this stuff and in these workshops and meditating that are 80 or 90 years old that are expecting the unexpected and surprised and delighted when things that they thought about when they were little and in their teens and their 20s are being drawn back into their lives. And it's like, oh my gosh, completely forgot about that. That's the magic of God. A 40-year-old woman had stage 4 cancer. She was told that she wouldn't live 2 months, and now she has no evidence of cancer in her body at all. A physician who had Parkinson's disease tried everything from the medical route. She had one transcendental moment in the meditation. With the Heart Math Institute in these live workshops, they're measuring through the brain waves with these devices, and they can see in the meditation when the brain waves enter a state. And they can see when people have the spontaneous healings, because that's when it happens. Like that, it's the body and who we are and who we've practiced to be that takes time physically to catch up to that moment through practice and repetition and rehearsal. Remember, the baby takes 9 months in the silence and in the quiet. So if we've practiced a certain way of being in our life, it takes a little practice to get out of that. Just like the gym, just like neuroscientists, just like the airline pilot, whatever it is, it's practice, repetition, implementation, I'm worthy, trust, one moment at a time, surrender, feel good, have a glass of wine, go to the beach. Gene regulation has been changing in people within 4 days. A 19-year-old has published articles and books. Financial abundance flowed, and Sandra was building her second multi-million-dollar home. A person went into a week-long advanced retreat blind and couldn't see, and when she left, she could see. Jane lost her husband recently following a devastating house fire and felt desperate to communicate with him. She said she's been able to have conversations with him during her meditations and feels a huge sense of relief. This is energy affecting matter. This is energy, this is God, this is source, this is infinite intelligence affecting everyday people's lives. And I get goosebumps thinking of this and seeing it and watching it and seeing the powerful creators, the deliberate creators that we are. So I have some questions for you that you can ask yourself silently, and there's no right or wrong answer, just see what comes up. And I want to ask, who's meditated before? And who meditates on a regular basis? And who has had issues with meditation? I'll raise both of mine. I love what Dr. Joe says. There's no wrong meditation. There's no bad meditation. Meditation is become familiar with. What would that mean, logically, in this life we live here with 8 billion other people? Well, through life, I identify personally with what I don't want and what I want. We all have these powerful tools in this awareness where we can see what we want and what we don't want. And these testimonials remind me of a phrase. One connected to source energy is more powerful than millions who aren't. What could happen in your life if you deliberately chose that 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day? What could happen in your life if you chose that a couple times a day? To deliberately take time for your precious and beautiful and loving selves. And surrender and allow. Change your state of mind, change your state of being, get it into an elevated state and allow. I had a friend who made her transition yesterday, and she introduced me to a bunch of different law of attraction teachings, and she was a great teacher for me. And I know that Patty is in a better place. And I said, because she had the Pink Light Project, and I surrendered when I was thinking about her, and I said, show me a sign that you're good and that you're okay where you're at. And I saw about 3 people here wearing pink this morning, and I was outside being quiet this morning in nature, and all of a sudden, this bougainvillea flower just fluttered down and landed in front of me, and I had goosebumps because there's no bougainvillea trees on our property or the neighbors next door. And I knew that she was good. And I know that she is here with me in consciousness, no matter when I want to ask for her. I'll leave you with this today. What is the greatest version of yourself that you can be today? And if meditation is such a powerful tool and you have a blueprint, why would you not want to deliberately create with such rich resources available to each and every one of us? Surrender, trust, and allow. Allow that greater mind to orchestrate things in your life that surprise and delight you in divine order. We have a worksheet in the back for Thursday's class from 7 to 9, or you can sign up online, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there. Have a beautiful day. Thank you.